Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Ripto. I'm Christian and in today's video we're going to be looking at Elon Musk has said he's having diamond hands and holding 3 coins that he will not sell. We're also looking at EU Parliament are set to vote on how they want to regulate crypto today and what that could mean and is it showing in the price chart action. We're obviously of course going to look at there's extreme fear in the market still with obviously high interest rates on the horizon and the Russian and Ukraine crisis. So if you want to know all that and more, stay tuned and let's get into the video. So before I start today's awesome video, you've got it. Anything you see, hear or choose to ignore is not financial advice. No, this bad boy is here for your educational purposes only. So with that being said, let's jump straight into the Elon Musk news and see what 3 coins he is holding and will. Boom. So as you can see here, we've got Elon Musk is saying he's got 3 coins that he will not sell. Now it says in a Twitter exchange with MicroStrategy Michael Saylor, which most of you know who he is, Tesla chief has said he continues to hold 3 major cryptos and will not sell them. Now the 3 cryptos that he's talking about are of course Bitcoin, Ethereum and Dogecoin. Now here it says with the high rate of inflation has been a major deterrent in the crypto market trend over the last year. Last month, the US inflation hit a record 40-year high of 7.9%, which brings me on to Elon Musk's tweet, which he said, as a general principle for those looking for advice from this thread, it is generally better to own physical things like homes, stocks in companies you think have good products than in the dollar with high inflation. I still own and won't sell Bitcoin, Ethereum and Doge. So he is saying that, obviously not financial advice, but it's better to own things that you see as long sustainable projects, tokens, coins or whatever than it is the US fiat, because that is just going to die in his opinion. He's also seen here exchanging a tweet with Michael Saylor, which we've just seen from the last news, that is, what are your thoughts about the probable inflation rate over the next few years? Now, Michael Saylor's obviously returned a tweet saying the US dollar consumption inflation will continue near at all-time highs and assist inflation will run at double the rate of consumer inflation. Weaker currencies will collapse and the fight of capital from cash, debt and value of stocks to scarce property like Bitcoin will intensify. So what he's saying, people will take their money out of fiat things and run into stronger assets that he believes are things like Bitcoin. So for me, looking at this, looking at these kind of big whales, crypto buyers, and what they're saying is they're hedging their bets on the cryptocurrency market. So while we are experiencing some pain at the moment due to all the FUD, the FOMO and the fear, we will see brighter days because a lot of the cash capital will start flowing into the crypto market, especially like Bitcoin. And as you know, Bitcoin starts following a rise and generally the altcoins tend to follow. Now, also in another kind of news is that the Dogecoin holders are at a record low. It says there's been a significant decline in the number of addresses holding Doge going from 4.55 million down to 3.89. So although Elon's saying he's going to hold Doge and he's not selling, the actual Doge is being seen as declining. And this would be affected if you have a look at Dogecoin's price charts, which we can see here, is that it's been in a downcline since back in May. And the price has just really been falling onto a channel all the way down here of an all-time high would have been around about the 69. So I think it even got up to 70 cents and at the moment is trading at 0.11, which is a significant drop from where it was. I think we're looking at about a 84% drop. So does this mean that Doge has bottomed now and we could see a bit more like highs to the upside, or are we going to continue to break this kind of strong support area here and see Doge go down further to another leg? That I cannot tell because I don't really follow Dogecoin that rigorously. I don't really invest into it and I don't really look into it that much. I'm just purely showing it on here because it's part of what Elon Musk has been saying today. However, a coin I do follow is the Bitcoin. Now, another one that is holding is the Bitcoin. Now, for me, Bitcoin's been bouncing around this bottom line now, nicely getting rejected from this kind of support resistant line all the way up here at the 45 mark and just bouncing up and down in this channel here, crabbing sideways now since back when it broke through there in the sort of mid to end of January. Now this to me, and this is why I've put this chart on here, is if you remember when I was doing the videos, if you've been a long term on the channel, you would have seen that I was showing the capitulation phase, but you will see similarities in here that the capitulation phase did last for a good number of weeks. I think all in all it was just over 2 months. And you can see after we had this big peak performance, we had the massive drop off and we crabbed sideways for 2 months. We've had this big peak performance here, a lot of bad news, FUD and FOMO in the market. We've dropped down, now we could crab sideways for a few months. Why? The whole world and the economy settles down a little bit because there is a bit more bad news, I think, coming across the horizon with obviously the way crypto wants to get regulated. We've heard people putting in fear and FOMO mongers saying that crypto could be getting harsh penalty regulated because of the way Russia's using it to get its money out of the country. We've heard all sorts of scary stories, but for me, I think Bitcoin is trading around the bottom areas. A lot of people are saying Bitcoin's going to go down to 28,000. I genuinely don't see that. I can't see Bitcoin falling from 38 down to 28,000 before we start finding a bottom and then start shooting back up. For me, I think worst case scenario, Bitcoin may wick down, or we may see some downward turn on a bit of bad news to the $30,000 mark, but we won't see any lower than that. And that will be a wick. Because if you have a look at all this kind of support area and resistance area here, and you have a look at all this support and resistance area here, it is holding a strong line. And this is exactly what happened in the capitulation phase here. It did crab sideways and then we shot to the upper side. We just need to get out of this bit of bad FOMO news and we could see boost to the upside. So this is probably why Elon Musk is holding this and he's saying he's having diamond hands. The same goes for Ethereum. Ethereum's just following Bitcoin. It's sort of rolled over from its high. You're looking on the RSI, it's coming down to its kind of oversold area and it's crabbing sideways, where you can see it could hit 2,400, where you will see alt drop. Historically, when it all happened here, alt dropped significantly, and of course when we had this big dip back in June, we've seen alts drop obviously dramatically as well. So for me, you've looked at the dogecoin is in a downward trend. We've got Ethereum that's gone a rollover now, finding a sideways momentum, as is Bitcoin, just on a bigger scale. And we've got a lot of news in the market. So that is a brief overview of how the price chart's looking. But just going back to Elon Musk's news article here, and I'll just finish it off. And he's saying last year, JP Morgan Chase Strategy said that the BTC bull run in the second half of 2021 was driven by inflation against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially because BTC is preserved as a better inflation hedge than gold. Now, the MicroStrategy chief is saying he believes that inflation will result in the collapse of weaker currencies. His comments come as the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war is expected to have longevity economic consequences, obviously talking about the ruble. Now, also he's going into detail saying the countries like Venezuela, which have been dealing with notoriously high inflation, have started looking towards crypto as a solution to their financial trouble. And we're hearing stories of Brazil looking to take the same kind of route, as well as a few other countries. Now, Saylor predicts that the capital from cash, debt and stocks will move to scarce property like Bitcoin. Now, this is also what Elon Musk was saying in a cryptic way in his tweet. Musk revealed his investment choices as a general principle for those looking for advice from this thread is generally better to own physical things like home or stock in companies you think have good products and dollar inflation is high. He said, now that goes back to the tweet we looked at when he was doing the tweet with Michael Saylor here. So it's just confirming what he says. Now, he previously stated that I've said before, don't bet the farm on crypto. True value is building products and providing services in your fellow human beings, not money in any form. Doge prices have seen a positive impact After Musk's adversity for the token, the main coin is maintaining a 24-hour range of 0.115 to 0.116, and it's up 0.7 at the time, obviously, of this article. And this credit goes to Sharina Sharma. So for me, this is looking that they are worried about inflation. They are edging the bets, but they can see cash flowing into Bitcoin soon, and the crypto market seeing a bit more of greener days. Now, I'm just going to flip over to the fear and greed index. And as you can see, the fear and greed is still in extreme fear. Now, yesterday we were 21, 23, but we've all been bouncing around these low 20 marks for a little while now. So there is still extreme fear in the market, and we're not seeing a lot of money being pumped in at this moment in time. We had the initial relief rally, obviously, when the Russians were buying up a lot of the Bitcoin, and we had that big pump, but still in the whole market as a whole, we are seeing extreme fear. So at the moment, it still is a buyer's market. Now, they always say, and again, not financial advice, is when there's fear and blood on the streets, that's the time to buy if you can, and that's where money is made. When prices are low, people have not really generally got the feeling to buy, they go against their emotions, and then you get rewarded after. But also, you have to remember that only put in money that you can afford to have tied up in crypto. Obviously, like we always say, you can afford to lose, but thirdly, one that it's not going to cause you any emotional stress, alarm, or anything like that. If that money needs to be tied up, say for instance, with Bitcoin crabbing sideways for anything from 2, 3 to 4 months. We all know there's a new tax year coming in April, and we all know some people get a lot of pressure put on them when it's coming to that final end of year stuff. So for me, at the moment, I am accumulating very slowly at these low levels because I do think we're hitting quite a bottom line. But I do think we may see a little bit drop to the downside when we see what happens on the EU Parliament vote, and with, of course, the high inflation that's coming from America. So that's probably going to wrap it up from what I want to say now today. I hope you found this video very informative. I'm just giving you a little feeling out there of what Elon Musk is doing, what the fear and FOMO is in the market at the moment, what the price charts are saying, and really just getting a feel of where the crypto market is as a whole. So for me, I think with crypto is still fearful, we're still down in the low bottom ranges, and there's no signs that we're going to have a massive major blow off bull run anytime in the next foreseeable future of probably 4 to 5 weeks. I still think we've got a bit more sideways momentum going. So as always, hit that like button, smash that subscribe bar, tickle that bell notification, and as we say on Crypto Ripto, trade smart, trade safe, and don't get wrecked.